I've been thinking about this open marriage concept for a good amount of weeks because I don't see Gino and I having any intimacy anytime soon.
I mean, listen, I get it. I get it because nobody really wants to be in a relationship where the intimacy is absent. But at the same time, nobody really should want to be in a relationship where you feel like you have to go elsewhere to get that dosage of intimacy. If you can't get the intimacy from connection from the person that you're married to, the person that you love, is it really the same as getting it from someone else? Because look at it this way, if intimacy is a big thing to Jasmine and it's a big way of connecting with her emotionally, well, then that means really and truly she should only be doing it with the person that she's emotionally connected with already. You see what I'm saying? Because I know some people, they need sex as well to be a big part of their relationship, to make them feel wanted, to make them feel valuable, to make them feel reassured. There's so many benefits of sex in a relationship that has emotion behind it. So trying to have that sex outside of that relationship, yeah, that's a whole different ball game. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not like their relationship was based on it being open in the first place, or it being non-monogamous. You see what I'm saying? This relationship was based on just them two being together, right? So this is a wild one. So the fact that she was never somebody who was into this, or had put herself out there as like an open relationship person, for her to be in this position now, yeah.
But sexless marriage is not in the picture for me.
Because open relationships require lots of conflict resolution, the ability to talk about your jealousy and insecurity, and I'm not sure that Gino and Jasmine are there yet.
And here's the thing, she said sexless marriage is not in the books for her. Well, then if she's having sex elsewhere, then that means you're not having sex in your marriage, are you? You're having sex outside your marriage. So basically, you shouldn't be married then. Because if, you see what I'm saying, if sexless marriage is not in her books, that means being married to someone who won't give her sex is not in her books. Not being married to somebody and then having sex outside the relationship, that's still sexless marriage regardless, because you're having it elsewhere. You see what I'm saying? Well, that's just the way I am worded anyway. But the therapist made a really good point here. Made solid points, absolutely solid points. These two are not in a position mentally, they're not in a position where even their communication style is going to allow them to be put in a place where they can actually be intimacy outside the relationship. It's not going to work. They don't have that strength behind them. I mean, to be fair with you, the question that I have for you, lovely folks, is can somebody tell me one thing that these two have that is actually strong about their relationship? Because I can't tell you none. And that's why this whole idea wouldn't work regardless. Gino did say that, if this is what Jasmine wants, but then he would just walk away. All right, buddy, whatever you say.
For the open relationship, for me, that's kind of a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker?
Yeah.
I want you. Because I want you. Now it's better.
Let's just make this sense. Jasmine says, I want you. And his response is giggling like a freaking...
Why? Everybody's what hurts me. And then you say that I'm the one who's pushing you away.
You're too serious.
No, I'm serious because this is a serious problem that we have in our marriage.
How do you reject? So, listen, they're given a task to be more physical, be more intimate. And he's not taking it seriously. He's saying that she's saying, no. How do you giggle at her? Like, the first giggle was rejection number 1. The second pulling back was rejection number 2. I don't know what games he's playing here, but bro, therapist is not a game. You've come to couples therapy to take everything seriously, not to mess about like a spoiled brat. So the fact that he thinks that he's being funny, or he thinks this situation is funny to him, is sad as hell. Absolutely sad as hell. Honestly, I mean, listen, let's just keep it a buck now. At this point now, their relationship is clear that they just do it just to be on the show and that's it. There's no way their relationship is legit outside the show, because this shit right here, it's not making any sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, anyway.
About mood, because I've been here with you in the same room and you cannot watch your porn and you cannot be masturbating. That's why you are in a bad mood.
You know what though? She may have a point there. Maybe he's in a bad mood because he hasn't had his doses of his pornography. Do you see what I'm saying? But some people get in a bad mood when they are sexually frustrated, right? Maybe he gets, maybe he becomes in a bad mood when he's sexually frustrated with that because he can't use his hand. Yo, this shiz, nah. But then again, though, you sit there and you say to yourself, so Jasmine, why are you putting up a guy who prefers other women on the screen rather than the woman that he's with? You see what I'm saying? The inconsistencies in these actions here. I don't know any human being that would put up with being with somebody like Gino, who continuously likes to have intimacy on a computer rather than the person he's with. Ain't nobody gonna want to put. Actually, to be fair, no, there will be a lot of people in this world that actually would put up with that. To be fair with you. And usually people like that are people who have very, 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 very low self-esteem. They don't value themselves. They have no morals. They're just in a bad, confident place, period. So there's people that would actually put up with it, because there's many people who put up with somebody who's a cheater. They won't ever leave that person regardless, because they don't have their own self-courage, confidence to go elsewhere, self-esteem. And it's so sad. But that's not the case with Jasmine, though. That's not the case. We've seen her entertain guy after guy, whether it be a Dane or whether it be this Matt guy. We've seen her go out there and entertain other men. So why are you still here with this clown? Just for the money, money, money. And I'm not talking about Gina's money. I'm talking about the show's money. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for the way he hugged you. Did you feel uncomfortable? Oh, Gino hugging you like that?
You know what, though? The way he went in, because initially, before he hugged Natalie, the camera is focused on her breast area. You know what I'm saying? And obviously this season, Natalie has worn things to make sure that her breasts are all tight together, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, it's an asset that she's been really trying to force this season, right? And in this scene here, Jasmine is the first person that Gino sees initially. Does not go and cuddle her. Sees Natalie, well, no, that's if he saw Natalie or if he saw Natalie. If you ask me, he probably saw Natalie here, because there ain't much going on here, but that's just my opinion. He saw this and he was like, yeah. And when he came for the cuddle, he was really close to that chest. And the crazy thing about it is he's gone to one, cuddle Natalie, two, cuddle the villain of the house, whilst three, Jasmine was the first person he saw and he didn't even go and cuddle her. Meanwhile, in the hot tub, what was he doing? Pushing her away, rejecting her. And then obviously in this situation here, Jasmine asked the question, are you okay? Did he make you feel uncomfortable? Because she saw what we saw, or at least what I saw. This man was cuddling you in a way where he was trying to be close to the milk. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Natalie is never going to sit there. Because Natalie's a double standard kind of person. She's a hypocrite. Of course, she's not going to say, oh, that made me uncomfortable, because she loves to just cause drama with other people. She likes other men and other relationships to give her attention so she can basically get underneath the skin of other wives anyway. You see what I'm saying? Because I guarantee you now, if it had been Josh that had cuddled Jasmine that way, we all know how Natalie would have reacted. This is why Natalie is a scumbag.
Yeah, this is like this. Yeah, enough. I'm gonna destroy it again. No.
First time you throw my drink.
So obviously, Jasmine is not happy with Florin because she believes that Florin is a bad influence on Gino. Now, here's the thing, though. Rob tried to be smart. He said that this is the first time I've seen Gino be happy and Jasmine wasn't here. Okay, I'm going to contest that. If Gino was happy on a sober basis, you guys are having a laugh, having a good time, and everybody's sober, I can agree with that. But Gino's drunk. He's drunk. That's a different type of happiness. That's not really, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, because look at it this way, right? So if you're telling me that Gino has to be drunk just to be happy in general, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Like, granted, is he happy because Jasmine isn't there? Probably too, but we have to put the fact that he's also under the influence of substance, because so therefore we know this happiness that he's got right now isn't genuine happiness. This is literally just, I'm drunk and run away from my issues and I'm just going to let free for a little bit. But the question is, though, is Florin a bad influence on Gino? At first, I was like, hey, Jasmine's been too much. She's projecting here. But you know what, though? Stacey, though, was not protecting her man. She was literally telling him to stop and calm down and being too much. Which then said to me, you know what, though, Jasmine may have a point here. Maybe Florin is a bad influence on Gino, because Florin, he's out here trying to invite Gino to come where? To come to Miami. I mean, Florin even said that he believed that Gino could do better than Jasmine, which is wild. Maybe mentally he could, but that's about it. But to be fair with you, he has to remember though, Jasmine is probably the way she is because Gino is the way he is. If Gino was a bit more caring, a bit more loving, maybe Jasmine would be different. So, yeah, to be honest with you, could Gino do better? No. Gino's the kind of person that if he walks into your life, ladies, he's the kind of person that's going to make you feel insecure about yourself. He's the kind of person going to make you lose your shit because look at it this way. You can't be looking like Jasmine, and especially when you get all this work done, all that kind of stuff, and make yourself perfect. But then you got a guy like Gino who still won't give you attention. That's gonna drive any woman crazy. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, Flo needs to humble himself with his freaking observations on this relationship because it is false, in my opinion. It's not a fact of where Gino could do better. Gino's the kind of person that makes women insecure. You can't tell me otherwise. That's why he's got a chain of being in a relationship with different women and it not working out. And all women he goes with all have similarities in terms of they are all aesthetically more pleasing than he is. You see what I'm saying? But either way though, was Flo a bad influence? I'm actually going to say yes. Because you see, when Stacey didn't come in and defend a man, that was showing the fact that she was projecting the fact that this man is always out in Miami, clubbing, bars, whatever, never coming home. And that's something that Stacey had expressed at the beginning of the season about Flo as well. And this is something that we've known about him anyway. So to be honest with you, yeah, is Flo the kind of person who's going to come in your life, take your man and take him to Miami so you can have a good freaking time, and then, you know, whatever happens in Miami stays in Miami? Yeah, Flo is that goddamn type of person. So I see why Jasmine was like, you're a bad influence, and why Stacey didn't even want to defend her own man, even though Stacey and Flo actually had intimacy the night before for the first time. Even though they were on a better page, she was like, yeah, no, I know what my man's like. Yeah, he's definitely a bad influence. So you know what, though? I get it. I absolutely get it. But with that being said, though, did Jasmine do too much, though, by grabbing the drinks and throwing them on the floor? I'm going to say, yeah, there was no need for that kind of, you know, physicality, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the next one.
Today is wonderful. Like, we did nice hangouts. Give it to me, my social media password. That's what I'm thinking about. But if she doesn't give it to me, that is a huge problem. That's what I feel.
So this is all I have here regarding these two in this week because there wasn't really much going on, but I didn't realize that this man still had not got his social media account because the last episode, she said that she was going to give it to him, right? But this is the most maddest thing is though, these two had a blast of a day. They're out there in their buggies, in the cars, all that kind of stuff, you know, having a great time, a little picnic, and he still sat there and said, yeah, it was a good time, but I still don't have my password, so yeah. That's sad though. That is sad. Let's just forget the fact that, you know, this whole black password thing is a form of blackmailing. Let's just forget that for a hot second, okay? The fact that this man is allowing the fact that he's allowing a password to social media account ruin his chances or ruin him trying to connect. That's interesting because there are pros and cons to it. You know, you can sit there and have the argument of, well, why should he try and be with somebody that's blackmailing him to be somewhere he may not want to be at? You know, why should he be with someone who's blackmailing him to basically still try in the relationship that he doesn't want to be in? There is that argument, you see what I'm saying, okay? But then there's the argument of, well, you turned up to this couple's therapist, so therefore shouldn't your priority be the fact that you're trying to prove to your wife that you do want to be with her, that she can trust you? You know, because bear in mind though, this whole password situation is bigger than just a password. It's also due to the fact that, you know, Ari is fully convinced that this man has been cheating on her, you know, that infidelity has been happening. So there's a massive level of trust where she's trying to get him to gain it back. So the way I look at it, because he chose to be a part of this experiment, to be a part of couples therapy, that means that if you're going to do that, you don't do that because you're trying to seek your password back. You do it because you're trying to prove to your partner that you are still the man that she needs you to be. Okay, that you are still that you're willing to prove that you are still willing to work on your marriage. The fact that he hasn't tried to do that one bit because of a password tells you this man only came here just to get a password and not to actually work on it, which definitely means that this is a waste of Ari's time, waste of the expert's time. It's a waste of a lot of people's time apart from his pocket, because of course you get paid to be on the show anyway, right? Let's not. Yeah, that is clearly the obvious. You know what I'm saying? But if we just take away that this is a show, we take away the idea of the fact that he's gonna get paid for being here. If we was to look at this as two people in real life and there's no financial benefit, okay, you cannot sit here personally and tell me that this man gives a damn about this relationship. He only came here to get his password. But the crazy thing about it is that he's going about it the wrong way too. Even if his intention, even though his intentions are literally just for a password, not for the relationship, Well, you know what you need to do to get it. You've got to prove and show and convince Ari, convince her that you are back in this relationship and you want to make it work. You convince her of that, you get the password. And then after that, if you want to carry on being disconnected and being a scumbag, do what you got to do, right? So the fact that he's not even playing the game of getting the password is actually even more wild. This guy is a donut, complete donut. It's not that hard. Like, come on. But anyway, like, the fact that he's allowing a password to define his mood and all that, that's just weird as hell. Weird as hell. I mean, let's not forget, though, this is a man that is now failed in 2 relationships with 2 American women and kids with both women as well. We don't know what the other woman was like. We know what Ari's like, and we know how, obviously, she can be a headache, bloody daddy da, but it doesn't change the fact that this man here has got a track record, right, of 2 baby mums, 2 failed marriages, and him basically being non-existent in those marriages for the most part. So much that he got cut off from his other kid. And I'm telling you now, if these 2 wasn't on the show and there wasn't this benefit, I ain't gonna lie to you, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy cut himself off his own child's life, Harvey, because my man went, like she went to Ethiopia with their kid for God knows how long. This guy was too, he could care less. He stayed in the US so he could, enjoy life with other women. One of those other women being Angela Dean. We've all seen the picture of him and Angela Dean and the other waste man. I ain't gonna say his name. Yeah, that was very, very immature. Anyway, yeah, with that being said, let's move on.
Yeah, and I was having a great time, but then I didn't want to have sex because I'm still just not at that place.
Do you mind me asking, Sophie, how long have you guys not been intimate?
Ours is probably like a year.
You know what the maddest thing is? Sophie says that stuff with her chest, though, as if like something to be proud of. I can't stand Sophie, man. Oh, goodness gracious me. Maybe I'm just projecting because I've come across women like her in the UK. I don't think I've ever been with one like her, but I've come across one like that. Yeah. Oh, no, I have. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not projecting. Just put it out there, okay? I'm just saying she reminds me very easily of how women like her work, and it's not a nice experience. A part of me wants to feel sorry for Rob, but then I don't because he's choosing to still be there. But at the same time, though, based on what Rob has to say next, I understand.
Know how much a husband is supposed to give before it's justified to walk away.
She's not coming home, right?
Yeah,
That's
she doesn't
too far.
even live with me.
I feel like that's too
She
far.
doesn't live with me. My girlfriend, been gone.
Later, yeah.
But she's my wife, and that's the thing I'm struggling.
So here's the thing. Because Rob's married to Sophie, that's why he's still sticking around. See, I like that trait in him because it means it means that when he marries somebody, he's not married for the sake of it. He's married, but he's willing to try anything possible to make that marriage work. But Sophie, on the other hand, she marries you and doesn't give a damn about making that marriage work. And this, like I said, there's people like her. You know what I mean? She's not an anomaly. There's women like her here. There's probably women like her in obviously other countries as well, but I can only speak about where I'm from, right? Okay, obviously from my own experiences, okay? And other people that I know. And this is the problem. There are too many women like her here who just want to have the title of being married. Obviously, in some situations, it's a bit different. Getting married to Rob was more of the benefit of the green card, right? Let's just keep it a buck. But then there's women out here who generally just want the title of just get married. They don't care about pleasing you in any kind of shape or form, whether that's pleasing you intimately, emotionally, just don't care. They just want the status of, hey girls, I'm married, yay! We got kids, yay! But the relationship is miserable as hell. And most of the time, they're with men that... This is the only way I have to word this, but they're with men that feel the need that they have to now step out to get intimacy elsewhere. And then when they find out that that man has been cheating or whatnot, oh my God, why would he do this to me? Do I not do enough for you? Blah, blah, blah. Because you see, they believe that being aesthetically pleasing is enough for a man to want them. They don't need to give them anything else but that. But that. I'm telling you, it's a thing. Now, I'm not saying that these men should be in the relationship with these women to the point where they decide to actually go elsewhere. Because remember, there's a pattern here with Rob, isn't there? Obviously, where Sophie kept saying, oh, this man, he's always out here doing something. But remember, Rob had to basically speak to other women at various stages of their relationship, right? That's a pattern. That is a pattern that I'm familiar with because it happens here. Do you see what I'm saying, okay? And women like Sophie, they never take accountability. Never. Never. Because in their eyes, they're like, well, if it doesn't work with this guy, it is what it is. I'll find somebody else because I know I look that damn good. But they'll play the character though of, oh, you know, I have low self-esteem and I don't really value the way I look, blah, blah, blah. Which, listen, to be fair, a part of it is true. That's why they always need to find a man to be in their life to make them feel good enough for themselves. Not good enough for the man, for themselves. You see what I'm saying? So there is an element of that insecurity, to be fair. I'm not saying that part doesn't exist. But the matter of the fact is, though, when it comes to this situation here with Sophie, the fact that she's more than happy to be married and not have intimacy tells me everything that I need to know about her. And I've seen it before. And the fact that Rob's actions over the time have actually resembled some of the actions of the people that I've come across, it makes more sense. I just don't know why I didn't think about it before, to be honest with you, okay? But here's the thing, though. Rob, if you marry someone, it's good that you want to try to do what you can to make it work. But if the person you're with isn't trying to reciprocate that same energy and you're finding yourself drained so much that you're having to now play with yourself to entertain yourself because she won't play with you, leave that goddamn relationship. But then there's also the other question, though. Why do these men marry these women? Women like Sophie, who don't give them that level of intimacy and whatnot. That's the catch. Because you see, before the marriage, they will give him the intimacy. It may not be all the time, but they'll give it to him maybe once a week or something like that. They'll give him that. You see what I'm saying? As a way to lure them in. Even when it comes to the status of making that man just their boyfriend, they will give him the intimacy as much as possible before then. Once that man is their man, the intimacy slows down. It's still there, but it slows down. And then when the marriage comes in, the intimacy only happens when they're trying for a baby. For the most part. Or if she does something wrong, and she doesn't want to take accountability, which she never does, she'll sleep with him. Do you see what I'm saying? It's nasty work. Evil work. Evil work. So given that this information is true, regardless of them, this is what's happened. I'm telling you now. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one.
I get you, but I don't treat people that way because I was bullied. At the end of the day, I understand it sucks. He did invite me to Vegas, but that's on him. Purposely touching my husband, rubbing his arm only in front of me. You kept grabbing his arm. You didn't touch any of the other guys. You're clearly trying to make me jealous, and that's my husband.
The way Natalie's face was comical stuff. So Natalie decided to come in and apologize. Sophie's obviously saying, well, listen, I hear your apology, but you was pretty much picking on me before the Josh thing even came out, okay? And what you was doing is inappropriate. And to be fair, she's not wrong. She's not wrong in any shape or form, but it's interesting, isn't it? She's more than happy to be jealous or be annoyed when somebody's touching her man, but she won't even touch her man herself. Yeah. Well, dear. Yeah, anyway, let's continue. I mean, I get it. There's a reason behind it, okay? The reason is very simple, you know? It's because the fact is, you know, he's my man, and just because I don't touch him, it doesn't mean that you can. You know, he's my property. I need him to look good no matter what. So it makes me look good. It makes me feel good. If I know that my man can stay with me because of how I look and not have to step out, then that is validation for myself to know that I am still good enough. It's a crazy way, the way people's minds work. That's why I always say to people, right? If intimacy is high on your list in a relationship, don't be with someone who doesn't give a damn about it. Sophie's that kind of person that doesn't give a damn about it. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the kind of person that you avoid. Listen, to be honest with you, we might as well say that Sophie might as well be with Gino. Gino doesn't care for it, so she should be with him. Jasmine cares for it. Rob cares for it. Rob might as well be with Jasmine. Just saying.
So he was already disrespecting me and didn't allow me the place to come to you.
Have you been to Vegas? She says no. And he after says, well, it's fun there, something like that. And after he puts direct dates to her and practically asking, can you make it?
So Natalie finally reads the text messages and finally discovers that, you know, the conversation, obviously how it went down. And now she's...
He plays double game. He doesn't want to build relationships with me. He's not interested.
The maddest thing about it is that it took for these texts for Natalie to recognize that this man is not interested in her. That is wild. That is absolutely blasphemy. What? The way, you know what? The way Natalie plays this whole I'm naive game is ridiculous. Being that naive is just stupid. Listen, I just don't like Natalie. She does my head in.
He's definitely for his side, and he had intention for sure. So I'm sorry. I don't know if you can.
That you're apologizing, but I think I'm gonna need some time because to me, like, that was a lot. Like, I have insecurities about myself. You know, that could have really in my head. Like, you know, especially the body shaming comments and the hooker comments.
You know what, though? I wasn't surprised that this was Sophie's reaction. Sophie likes to complicate everything. Period. If Rob comes in and says, I'm sorry, let's do better, she doesn't want to accept it. She wants to make the conversation more complex than what it is. Now, granted, I don't like Natalie. Nor do I like Sophie. But Natalie, so Sophie was like, listen, I will show you the texts to prove that I'm not in the wrong. Shows the texts. Natalie says, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. Sophie's like, well, I don't want to forgive you because there are all these other things. Respectfully, I get it. I get the fact that she is annoyed about everything else, but everything that Natalie was doing was due to Natalie's insecurity, right? And which still is not a good enough reason. But now she understands that she was in the wrong. She apologized. Does it mean that Sophie needs to forgive her right then and there? Absolutely not. But wouldn't the wise thing be, listen, I appreciate that you've apologized, okay? And I accept your apology, but it doesn't mean that I can be friends with you because you've already done too much damage. Fair enough. My point is, Sophie has this thing where she needs to be in control of things for her own mental benefit. So instead of just saying, okay, I accept the apology, but and I accept the apology and I don't mind being cordial, but we're not friends. Instead of saying something like that just to dead the situation, she'd rather be like, well, I don't want to accept the apology because you still did this, and this. And this is what Rob is always talking about, how Sophie doesn't take no accountability for nothing. Okay, take no accountability for nothing, okay? Rob is always talking about how with Sophie, she always has to say this, and that. So let's go back now. Sophie's complaining about how Natalie was body shaming, blah, 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 blah. But hold on a minute. Let me just remind ourselves of something. Sophie, did you not go out of your way to purposely stand near Josh to purposely get underneath the skin of Natalie? Don't be a hypocrite. You played a role in this madness as well. When you saw that Natalie was moving mad and saying what she was saying about you, you could have easily said to her, listen, I'm not happy with what you're saying, and that's it. Okay, and then voice yourself. Most importantly, you should have never played the game of then now trying to make her jealous by standing to Josh for the purposes of getting under his skin. You was playing the maddest thing about it is that Natalie's reactions to Sophie were due to insecurities of the fact that she was just moving up. Like there was a purpose behind of insecurity. Sophie's actions towards Natalie was just pure revenge. Pure pettiness. You see what I'm saying? But she wants to sit there and be like, oh, but I don't forgive you. The girl, I said, she loves being control things. Robbie said it time and time again, but that's why, but this clown still stays. He knows that she's never going to get her to be accountable for nothing. Nothing. And she knows she's never going to do it. Ever going to do it. Come on now, man. Well, listen, it is what it is. The matter of the fact is, though, if Robbie's going to stay with somebody like this, then that's up to him. But either way, though, in this situation here, Sophie, I'm watching you. I see what you're doing here. You could have just said, listen, I accept your apology, but it would take me time to want to be around you. It would take me time to want to be friends with you, okay? If that. But either way, though, it still doesn't change the fact that she's a hypocrite. Just saying. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.